Nick Jonas, Nick Jonas self-titled, Nick Jonas times two, goes by a few names, and today I'm going to review it. This album is my go-to whenever I play Super Mario Galaxy, and it's not really a clear reason why. It's just what I happen to throw on while playing the game, and I just had such a memorable time that I now associate this album with the game. But that being said, it doesn't need the association to be good because it's still one of the best albums of all time. I keep debating its placement on my album rankings chart, but that's for another video. I love the emotional climax with Nothing to Be Better and Santa Barbara. I do wish he didn't just jam all his singles and popular songs at the beginning of the album. Too many artists do that and it interferes with the emotion in the songs. Mainly Chains for this album. It's one of the best songs ever, but it's not a good opening track. Every song is good, even if it takes time to grow on you, and a lot of them are 10 out of 10 to the point where I can't pick a favorite, honestly. So I'm gonna go track by track. Chains is both nostalgic and one of the GOATs. Yes, one of the greatest of all time. It sounds perfect, essentially. Jealous doesn't sound as good, but it's aged so well considering I fell in love with this song nearly a decade ago. No, over a decade ago when it first came out. It got it got so popular and it got the world wondering what chin music was and even spawned a nice Danny Gonzalez vine out of it. Teacher is apparently another popular Nick Jonas song released as a single for the album, but I never heard it before 2020. That being said, it's super catchy. I love the lyrics. When you find a sweet innocent girl who doesn't know how to simply look. Wait, this song is probably supposed to be sexual, never mind. The former message is what I like to perceive, while the latter seems to be the true meaning. I don't know. Warning is an underrated banger with an amazing sound. It's got this dark pop sound and some repetition, but this repetition is done really well. Wilderness is catchy all over. The theme of it is having sex like you are cavemen. Yeah, and there's a lot of lyrical references comparing it to the dawn of humanity. Interesting take. Numb has some of the best chord progression on this album. Would be the best song on the album if there wasn't a bad feature. Took a little bit to grow on me, but I still don't like it. Take Over is another amazing sounding song that happens to be too short. It's about bringing out a girl's inner freak. Yeah, I only listen to this album for its sound, not its lyrical topics. Push sounds sour at first, but eventually you'll realize it's beautiful and kinda good. I Want You is one of the most relatable songs out there for me personally, not to the stalker level that it seems to be, because he just sounds crazy in his lyrics. How he really wants this girl and then basically kill him if he found her with someone else. And he's willing to go to extreme ends. Although, a similar thing did happen with a girl I used to like. I would have done anything for her. Then I found out she had a boyfriend and I actually did lose it. Um, I didn't get violent or anything. I just mentally, it was a lot. Amazing sound. I don't need to go into lyrical depth because it's not necessary. Avalanche is probably the weakest, but only by a bit. The lyrics aren't the best, the sound isn't the best, but it's not terrible. It's tolerable and it's in the middle relative to, songs I've heard. Pretty much every song, I mean. This being one of the worst songs on here at just okay makes the bar very high. Nothing would be better. The epitome of underrated. First, I listened to this because it sounded nice. Then I looked back and saw all the emotional value in it. Also, lyrics in YouTube music are wrong. We need to do something about that. Anyway, this song may not have one interpretation. I feel like it's about a relationship that feels so perfect yet was built on bad foundation and inevitably ended. The take being that nothing in the world is forever, and this theme hits you like a truck in a good way. It teaches you to not take things for granted. Great idea. And it's such a moving song. Another goat. Santa Barbara had the best comeback in history. That and a couple of Imagine Dragons songs that I'll probably make a future video about with those. So at first it sounds sour because the chord progression is not very prominent, but it is great. It's hard to notice considering the beat is mostly carried by the guitar. And there are some of the best messages in here. He's most likely singing about, the California city, or he may be comparing it to a girl. I assume the former. It talks about how distant a person can get from their former self over the years. They long for that way of life again. Or it could also be about the impact of touring, going around the country, sometimes even the world, and being far from home in that aspect. In this case, New York City. I'm not sure what the background talking in the second verse it's from. Seems like he sampled something, but I can't seem to find what it is. Closer isn't the best sounding, but it's still sometimes fun to listen to, especially with the Mike Posner feature, which is actually done well. Levels is nostalgic for being futuristic. Okay, let me clarify. Back in 2015, more like 2016 for this particular feeling, everything just felt so futuristic compared to previous years. Each year passing by was an upgrade from the last, according to elementary school aged me. Hearing the song made it feel like I was in the future. But now, this song is 10, gonna be 11 years old. It's not futuristic anymore. It's nostalgic as normal, but it was also ahead of its time. It sounds like an actually good pop song that people create nowadays. Incredibly catchy. Area Code is the one that got stuck with me for a couple years. During my first listen through, I felt so inclined to listen to it, or even part of it, at so many times. Not sure why, but it made the song great. Nice beat. It's filled with emotional and catchy tunes alike, blending together for an unforgettable experience. And I totally recommend this